Propeller Theatre Company is an all-male Shakespeare company. What makes Pocket Propeller unique is that it comes from a main stage production that's toured all over the world and played sometimes more than 150 performances. And it condenses all the lovely bits of a big production down into a bite-sized nugget that doesn't need a huge truck to transport it set around, but can go in the back of a van and can come to you and play in your theatre or your school or your room or your hall or your classroom or your playing field. Play anywhere that you want it to. When Shakespeare was putting his plays on, he performed them in a very modern way. They were modern pieces of writing. So here at Propeller, we perform Shakespeare's plays with modern costumes, with modern sets, and with a modern aesthetic. The plays are still the same, but the way people look, the way people sound, the music they use will all be drawn from contemporary references. In Shakespeare's plays, the characters talk to the audience. When the characters talk to the audience, it breaks down the fourth wall. And Propeller like to engage with the audience in this way, and we like younger people to come into our theatres and feel they can express themselves, that it is their afternoon or it is their evening, and they can enjoy it or not in the way they wish to.
The arms and legs of other men were scattered all around. Some cursed, some prayed then cursed, and prayed and bled some more. And the only thing that I could see was a pair of brown eyes that was looking at me. For a pair of brown eyes, for a pair of brown eyes.
Ed's idea behind the production was to have the story of Henry V told by a group of soldiers, tired after whatever war they're fighting, and they arrive in some barn and there happens to be just all this junk around us, and then one person thinks of, God, do you remember the old days? Henry V, when he was on the throne. Whoa, wouldn't it be good to tell that story again? Yes, yes. And so we all pick it up. So everyone's involved in telling the story. The lines of the chorus are all divided between us.
The rich supply, admit us, chorus to this history, who prologue like your humble.
Of course, during all that, it's addressed to the audience as well. We want you to use your imaginations in the audience.
Eke out our performance with your mind.
Think of when we talk of horses, think that you can see them.
Printing their proud hooves in the receiving earth.
And what we can leave out, use your imaginations to piece it all together.
There are only 6 of us, and we're playing lots of different parts. We come on, we're in chorus, we run off, get changed, come back as a Frenchman, come back, go back, and come back as an English soldier. And so we're constantly changing. From acting point of view, it's brilliant. It means that it feels like more like maybe a 400-metre sprint as opposed to the marathon of the 3-hour production.
There's not a point where one scene comes to an end and people shuffle things around and then we start another scene.
Chanson d'amour.
Have a seamless experience from beginning to end.
Chanson, chanson, chanson d'amour. Chanson comes the English.
Wakes them up to a new colour.
Écoutez, dites-moi si je parle bien. The hum. The finger. And the nail.
So it is pantomime. It's very, the awareness of the audience is there. It creates that lovely respite where the audience can go, oh, brilliant, this is really, and it engages them in a very different way.
We have to, within the course of the play, create 2 battles, and we use whatever's to hand, except it happens to be a ladder, which is a big marauding truck, which we bring forward, and we use the lid of this as some kind of barrage or shield or maybe a trench, with Henry on the top of that, covered in blood, wielding his axe. The second battle, in a larger production, they used to have big bags filled with tennis balls, hard, so you could really swing a bat at it. But of course we haven't got those big punch bags here. So we have our own mini version of it. And it's amazing how out of these small things, with the help of their imagination and ours to bring that scene and that battle to life.
He didn't want to be a king, but he is a king. And because he's a king, he's going to be the best king ever. Is he a moral king? Yeah! No, not really. I don't think so. He's just this man who's a force of nature who's decided that he's going to be king of France. And he has the will to do it. And I actually think he thinks he's better than everyone else, which is why he is able to inspire people in the way he is. He's actually really young and really inexperienced, constantly driven by the fact that everyone else is watching what he's doing. He's a very public figure. He wants to go to war because he's got so much to prove, and yet he has to pretend he doesn't want to go to war.
Call in the French ambassador.
And then he's got the lovely excuse of the insult from the Dauphin.
He therefore sends you, meter for your spirit, this ton of treasure.
What treasure, uncle?
Tennis balls, my liege.
And then he goes mental.
And tell the pleasant prince, this mock of his hath turned his balls to gunstones, and some are yet ungotten and unborn that shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn.
It's like being in the playground. It's like saying, I'm the biggest boy here, and if I go and beat that guy up, then you're all going to respect me. He's standing there and everyone's watching him, terrified about going to war, and he's just had a conversation with these people saying, basically, why should we go to war?
That fears his fellowship to die with us.
And he has to come out and say, right, I've got to inspire these people.
Today is called the Feast of Crispian. He that shall see this day and live old age will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian.
This isn't something he's thought of. He hasn't written these speeches before.
He that outlives this day and comes safe home will say, tomorrow is St. Crispian's day. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispian's day. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day till the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers.
He's single-handedly dragging these people to war and inspiring them to victory.
We'll cut the throats of those we have, and not a man of them that we shall take shall taste our mercy. Go and tell them so.
Here comes
Believe, great king. I tell thee truly, Harold, I know not if the day be ours or no, for yet a many of your horsemen peer and gallop o'er the field.
The day is yours!
When Montjoy tells Henry that the day is yours, there's certain moments like he doesn't know what to do. He's never won a huge war like this before. So there is a big moment of him sitting around going, oh, God, everyone's looking at me.
Come go we in procession to the village. Do we all holy rite? Let there be sung non nobis in Te Deum. And be it death proclaiming through our host, to boast of this or take that praise from God which is his only.
The point is, we can come to you and give you the experience of the big production in a little 60-minute bite-sized piece.
Thus, with a maddened wing, our swift scene flies.
Holding due course to Harford!
Work for your thoughts, and therein see a siege.
Behold the ordnance on their carriages, with fatal mouths gaping on girded half-blood!
Suppose the ambassador from the French comes back, tells Harry the king doth offer him Catherine. Is your Catherine? And we heard the dowry some petty and unprofitable dukedom.
The offer likes not, and the nimble gunner with linstock now the devilish cannon touches, and down goes all before them.
Still, be kind and eke out our performance with your mind.
Once more, unto the breach, dear friends, once more, or close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger, stiffen the sinews, conjure up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favoured rage. On, you noblest English, whose blood is shed from fathers of war proof. Dishonour not your brothers. Now attest that those whom you call fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, let us hear the metal of your pastures. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge, cry God for Harry, England, and St. George!